In this video, I'm going to be breaking down this cool Iman Gadzhi style animation in which a circle comes into the screen, then transition into different circle shapes, and then the scene zooms into the third button, and then a very famous Iman Gadzhi animation occurs. This all happens with a very cool transition when the camera moves into the third shape layer. So all the assets used in this video are in the description below along with the project file, so you guys can use the project file for your future project or anything anywhere you want to use. So let's go to the video. So create a new composition, then right click and create a new solid layer. Then go to the effects and preset tabs and search for the effect gradient ramp and apply the gradient ramp on this black solid layer and change the start point to the center and the ramp shape to radial ramp. Make the starting color to a dark red and the end color to black. Let's make the starting color a little bit more darker and the end of the ramp to the corner. Now it creates a cool background. Now right click and create another shape layer. Select the ellipse tool and hold shift and create a circle. Change the color to red color. Right click on the shape layer, layer style, bevel and emboss. Then go to the bevel and emboss setting and set the depth to around 157 and the size to somewhere around 91. Okay, so then just go to the layer style and apply inner glow on it. Then go to the inner glow settings and change the color to red. Then change its choke to somewhere around 79% and the size to somewhere around 91%. Select the shape layer and press Ctrl D 2 times, and let's make the background color to a little lighter. Now search for the glow effect and apply this glow effect on the shape layer. Make the glow radius to 170 and the glow intensity to 130. Copy the glow effect and paste it on other two layers. Now adjust the position and scale of these shape layers. Place one of them in the middle and the other two near it. Select the type tool and the font to Tactic Sense Bold Italic. Write the number and change its color to white color. Duplicate the number text layer 2 more times. Then adjust the position and scale of these numbers and change the right one to 3 and the left one to 2. Just make sure you place these number in the middle of the shape in the bright part. Like, see how I'm doing it. Duplicate the number text layers and apply the CC radial fast blur on the bottom layer. Change the bottom layer text color to a black color. As you can see, it creates a casted shadow effects which looks cool. Make the center somewhere around here so it looks cool. Now turn down the opacity of the bottom layer to create a subtle effect. Now do exactly the same for the other two text layers. Now go to effects and presets and search for the effect gradient ramp. Apply the gradient ramp on the above text layer. So make the start point of the ramp to the top of the number and the end point of the ramp to the bottom side. And change the start color to white and the end color to a darkish red. Now play around with the start and end point of the gradient ramp until you get a cool gradient. Now pre-compose each shape layers with the text layers above it. Cut the shape layers after 4 seconds of starting. Then place the second shape layer on top of the first shape layer and make sure that it completely overlaps the first shape. Now place the third shape layer on top of the second shape layer and just make sure it completely overlaps the second shape. Link the first shape layer to second and second to third. Make position and scale keyframe and push it further away to 4 seconds and just scale it up and make sure it is placed in the center. Make the initial position keyframe out of the screen. Now select all of the keyframes and right click on it and ease the keyframes. Then go to the graph editor and make it start a little faster and end slower. Not too fast, but yeah, faster in the starting. Now delete the first, second and third layer after this and just extend the previous ones to like 25 to 30 seconds. Press Ctrl Shift D and cut all the shape layers. Then place the cutted layer on top of the layers. Now this is the entry animation we have just created. Now import the PNG and place it in the timeline. These black borders give cinematic effect to your animation. Now select the type tool and change the font to COG print regular and write whatever you want to write. Place this grid in somewhere in the middle top. Now search for the effect gradient ramp and put it on the text layer. Start of the ramp in the top and the end of the ramp in the bottom side. Change the starting color to white and the ending color to a dark red and push the end point to a little further. Now search for the deep glue and apply the deep glue on this text layer. Make the exposure to around 0.2 and the radius to around 400. Duplicate the text layer and place the text layer in the below side and don't forget to change the start and ending point of the ramp. It gives a cool gradient to the text. Now change the text to whatever you want to write. Now go to the text layer, click on animate position. Now change the Y position to 80, then add another property opacity and make it 0%. Now go to the advanced section and change the shape to ramp up, ease high 25%, ease low 100%. Keyframe the offset at -100 and then after 3 to 4 seconds make it +100. Now also keyframe the end 100% in the starting and 0% at end. Now select both the keyframes, right click on it and ease it. Then go to the graph editor and make it start a little fast in the starting and slow in the end. Now do the same thing with the second text layer and then just adjust its timing. This is how the text animations is looking. Make a position keyframe at the starting of the third shape layer, then after a few frames change its position to a little right side like this. Add a position keyframe on the second shape layer and then change its position to somewhere in the left side. Then adjust the timing of the animation and then select both of the keyframes, right click on it and ease the keyframe, then go to graph editor, select both the keyframes and make a peak at the middle so it starts slow, then speed ups and then ends slow. After this add a new camera layer, 35mm one node camera and place it under this PNG. Now create a null layer, another null layer and another null layer, 3 null layers and make it all 3D. And then what you have to do, you have to make a position keyframes and after a few frames just make it a little zoomed in. It gives a little movement to the animation so that the animation never stops moving. Open the null layer and make a position keyframe when the camera zooms in stops and then after one frame make it zoomed into the third shape layer and place the third shape layer in the middle. Adjust the position of this null layer in order to make this transition. Then after a few seconds change the camera position to right side so it looks something like this. Now apply deep glow on the third layer and go to exposure and keyframe at 0 in the starting. After some second increase the exposure to somewhere around 1.9 or 2. Then a few seconds later drop it to 0. It creates an animation like someone has clicked the button. Now parent link the first null to the second null and create a scale keyframe and then after a few frames zoom in the scene. We have to make a zoom into the third button, so just parent link the second null to third null and create a position keyframes. We have to make the position to the third button in the red area. We have to zoom in to the red area to make the transition happen. Just adjust the position and scale on second and third null. It creates this cool transition. Now select both the keyframes, right click on it and ease the keyframe, go to graph editor and make it somewhere around start slow and then end fast. Not extremely fast, but yeah, start slow and then end fast. Something like this. Yeah, this looks cool. Now adjust the keyframe timing just after the click animation has happened. Cut all the below layer after the scene has zoomed into the red color. Just press Ctrl Shift T and delete the next part and create a solid layer. Then go to effects and preset and search for 4 color gradient. 4 color gradient. Here's the 4 color gradient and apply it on the solid layer. Now make all the 4 colors to a red color by the eyedropper tool. Just press the eyedropper tool and make all the colors to red. Now keyframe all the points and the colors, and after a few seconds change the first color to black, fourth color to black, the second color to a darkish red, and the third color to a more darkish red, and increase the blend. Let's make the second color more darker and increase the blend. After a few seconds, just change the point of the colors so it creates an animated background that looks very amazing, and these are the little details that makes a scene really good. Now right click and create a new shape layer. Go to the tools and select ellipse and hold shift and create a circle. Just turn off the stroke and enable the fill to a solid color and make it a white color. Then right click on the shape layer, go to layer style, bevel and emboss, and just follow what I'm doing. Go to the bevel and emboss and make the depth to around 91-92%, the size to around 76-78%, and soften it all the way up to 16. Then go to the scale and turn down the scale of this shape layer, apply deep glow effect on it and go to the tint option. Then tint mode to monocolor and change the color to a red. Then just make the exposure to 0.2 and radius to somewhere around 100. Now it looks cool, just turn the scale down and place it in the corner. Now right click and create a new shape layer. Then just select the pen tool, then left click and drag the mouse upward, left click and drag the mouse upward, left click and drag the mouse upward, left click and drag the mouse upward. Now again I'm going to left click and drag, not here, so somewhere around here, left click and drag the mouse upward. Now just turn off the fill color and enable the stroke and make it a white color. So I think the line is very thin. Increase the stroke size to around 7 pixels. Now copy the deep glow effect from this shape layer and place this on this line layer. Now duplicate the shape layer and place all the balls on the edge of this line. Now quickly adjust its position and scale, so let me do it quickly. Now select the type tool and change the font to Tactics Sans Bold Italic. Now write the text whatever you want to write, like I'm writing content creation. Then just change the position and scale of this text layer. Then change the color to a reddish color. Now select the text layer and press Ctrl D to duplicate the text layer, and select the rectangular mask and create a mask on the top side of the text, and then apply deep glow effect on the top layer. Press F when the mask selected and adjust the feather to create a cool shining text animation, something like this. Now select both the text layers and adjust its position and scale and place it in somewhere in the middle. Now select the ball layer and press Ctrl D to duplicate it and place it in the startings. Place the ball somewhere in the starting of this line animation and go to its scale and increase its scale to somewhere around 16. Now change the ball color to a reddish color. Then go to the layer style, bevel and emboss, and decrease its depth to around 50%. Now duplicate the text layer and place it on the top and change its position to the top side and change the text like I'm writing 2025 Shivansh. Now select a ball shape and make a scale keyframe and decrease the scale to around 6%. Then after 1 second just make the scale back to 11%. Okay, so it will zooms in little bit. Okay, so now just make a opacity keyframe 0 in the starting, and after a few frames just make it back to 100%. So now just adjust the timing of these keyframes. When you see like it looking good, yeah, it's looking good. So now just copy the keyframes and paste it on all of the ball layers. Just make sure you don't paste the keyframe on the line layer like me. So now the balls are animated, so now we have to animate the line. Go to add trim paths and make a keyframe in the starting with end 0, and like 3 to 4 seconds later make it to 100%. Now select both the keyframes, right click and ease the keyframes, then go to graph editor and make the peak at the middle. Now just adjust the timings of the keyframe until it looks something like this. Okay. Now open the shape layer, shape, path, and copy the path and paste it on the position of the red ball. So the ball is going to follow the path of this line. Then ease the keyframes, go to graph editor and make the peak at the middle. So it starts slow, then speeds up and then ends slow. Select Now select all the text layer and press Ctrl Shift T and delete all the layers before the transition. Now apply the fade up by character preset on all of the text layers. Now just adjust the timing of the keyframes and we are ready with the cool text animation. Now select all the layers of the second scene and enable motion blur and make it a 3D. Now create a new camera layer, 35mm one node camera. Okay. So now right click and create a new null layer and enable 3D and motion blur on the third layer and parent link the camera layer to the null layer. Now adjust the position and scale of the scene by zooming in the null layer and place it somewhere around here when the scene starts somewhere just below the middle line. Now make a keyframe at the starting and after 3 to 4 seconds make it upward and just make sure that the ball is in the frame in the whole animation. Now select both the keyframes, ease the keyframes and go to the graph editor and make a peak at the middle so it starts slow, then speeds up and then ends slow. Now cut the camera layer when the null is controlling the camera to the upward direction and change the position a little zoomed in so that the null is still controlling the camera layer to the upward direction. This camera layer zooms in so it creates a seamless transition while the camera is still moving upward, controlled by the null layer. Now right click and create a new adjustment layer. Now place this adjustment layer below the camera layer of the first animation. Now apply Gaussian blur on the adjustment layer, create a keyframe and at the point where zooms in happen, it make it to like 22, 23 and after 10 to 20 frames drop it back to 0. Now adjust the keyframe timings and it creates a smooth natural transition. Now the final change is to the text layer. We are going to delete the end keyframes, make the end to 100%, apply a keyframe at offset and the starting make it -100. Same thing we are going to do with the other text. We are going to delete the end keyframes and make the end to 100%, make the starting offset keyframe to -100 and the next keyframe after a few seconds to +100%. Now adjust the timing of the keyframes and we are done with the final animation. So if you guys are facing any kind of problem related to this animation, I have linked down my Instagram in the description so you can contact me there and I'll try my best to help you guys.